Hi guys, Ancient Warrior. Welcome back to Prepping in Free America. If you like what you hear here, hit the subscribe button. And if you want to be the first kid on your block to know what craziness I'm talking about next, hit the bell icon with all. Wow. 4th of July. Isn't it grand to live in a country where you can spout just about anything you want? You know, I was talking to a friend the other day, and he was saying how we don't have free speech. And I said, how's that? And he said, well, I can't go into a crowded theater and yell fire. And I said, why would you want to? And that question was one that befuddled him. You know, I've got a list of names. I got a piece of paper right here with a list of names of men and women who were members of our armed services, our armed forces. A couple of them were also cops or firefighters or EMTs. They're no longer with us. Some of them paid the ultimate price. Some came home and, for no fault of their own, ended up being a casualty of life. This 4th of July, folks, I want you to do something new and unusual. Start today. Start building community. You know, back in the 50s when I was a kid, I always looked forward to 4th of July. Now, here's the reason I looked forward to the 4th of July. Every 4th of July, we'd go down to the church in our little community. Every family would decide what they were going to bring. We'd either have a fish fry or barbecue, or have hamburgers and hot dogs. You know, a social. Some of the farmers would bring ears of corn. We had one lady, God rest her soul. I didn't understand her when I was a kid. Today I wish she were around. She made the best butter you've ever eaten in your life. They had milk cows, and she would sit with a glass jar, shaking it until it turned into butter. Sprinkled very little salt into it, and she would make butter. Do you know what an ear of corn tastes like with fresh homemade butter? No, you don't. And I'll tell you why you don't. Because you eat this crap that comes from the grocery store. You know, Imperial or blue margarine or this or that. It's made with canola oils, folks, which is not very healthy. But it was fun. Then we'd all sit around and eat. We'd all find a spot to get. I was always sitting somewhere close to my grandparents. And my cousins and everybody'd all be there. And for weeks after the little fireworks display we had, we were still talking about it. How it was so much better than last year. Well, folks, 4th of July this year is going to be better than last year. I guess pretty much all of the lockdowns, with the exception of maybe Michigan and California, are gone. And the old great lackadaisical one in D.C. Was probably in his basement eating a gallon of ice cream. You know, folks, if you can't find something to honor today, then there's a problem. I was listening to a young North Korean girl. Her and her family escaped from North Korea, went to China, and at 13 she was sold into sex slavery. They finally made it to the United States. She goes to Columbia University. I think her last name's Park. And she's appalled at what she's seeing in this country. Why is she appalled? Well, let's start with the fact that she's watching Americans give up their freedom. Folks, every time you cash that government check, that stimulus check. Now, folks, I'm not talking about your Social Security, your VA benefits. I'm not talking about those. But when the left finds a new way for you to make more money than working, all they're doing is turning you into a slave. You know, I've started saying that if you're prepping, you're a free man or woman. But slavery is real in America. There are people, leftinistas as I call them, who want you to bow and scrape. They don't want you to own anything. I noticed the other day in the news, California's starting something new with to help people who haven't paid their rent in a while. Mr. Governor of California, you're a dumbass. There's no other way to say this. All you're doing is you're helping along poverty. When men and women do not work for what they get, they have no appreciation. I see it all the time. Matter of fact, I was at Walmart the other day. Kid had his hood up. Battery was dead. I carry a booster box, so I went over and helped him. First thing I saw was, oh, by the way, this was a 3-year-old Ford F-150 Raptor. The damn thing starts at about $70,000. And this had every conceivable option possible. So I'm under the hood, and I said, I can see your problem from here. And the kid looked at me and said, oh, what was it? What is it? I said, your cables are corroded. He said, well, I have to tell my dad that he needs to get it fixed. And I looked at him and I said, how old are you? 21. You need to fix it. You need to pull the... Oh, I can't do that. I work with my hands and I can't take a chance of cutting myself. This is what we're raising, folks. When I was his age, I was tearing engines apart, putting them back together, and giggling about it, having a good time. Now, let's talk about Gwendolyn Berry. She says the anthem does not speak to her. I guess the money she's getting from Black Lives Matter, from the Chinese company Puma, does speak to her. She says that blacks in America are being marginalized. I'm so sick and tired of hearing that. I'll tell you why. Gwen Berry lives in housing that the American public donated money for her to be able to live into as she's training for the Olympics. Gwen Berry does not have to work a second job like so many people back in the past have had to do just so that they could have a chance at their Olympic hopes. Nancy Kerrigan. Mom and Dad worked their butts off to make sure she had a shot. Nobody guaranteed her she was going to win. They gave her a shot. Folks, I am so sick and tired of hearing about people who think they're being maligned because of their color. I was called a racist the other day. But the guy who called me a racist was white as I was. Because I would not agree to his stance. I informed him very quickly and politely and forcefully that he knew nothing about me. I'm one of those guys who I'll bend over and help people. I don't care. I don't care who you are, where you're from, or what. If you need a little help and I've got the equipment to help you with, I'll do it. So, leftinistas, let me tell you something. You're about to burn bridges. Actually, you already have. Most people don't care if you call them a racist anymore. They know the truth. 99.9% of Americans are not racist. It's that 0.1% that is. And they're not just white. They're black, Hispanic, and Asian. Middle Easterner. My call to you today on this day of independence, when so many of the, I believe it was 52 men who signed the Declaration of Independence ended up penniless and broke. But they would not have changed a thing. With that being said, folks, have a blessed day. Have a great day. As you can see, my t-shirt says, it's old Sporky, and he says, why am I here? I know why I'm here. Be blessed. Be fruitful and multiply. Go out and teach others. And also, go out and start building community. As I told you, back when I was a kid, we'd go to the church, and it wasn't just people from my church. We had people from several other churches, because our area, our church area, had a lot of space. And we had a lot of other people there. Heck, most 4th of Julys, I think we had just about the whole little town I lived in. There's one or two that wouldn't come because, arrogance, stupidity, pride, I don't know. Laziness. So, with that being said, folks, have a blessed day. Go out, be fruitful, and multiply. Teach others to prep. And also, remember, it's better to have this stuff and not need it than need it and not have it. And, folks, if you're prepping, you will always be a free man. You will not be dictated to by the government officials who might or might not want to be able to hand you food. I'm the Ancient Warrior. Be blessed.